accountable. Let's bring in a veteran and Dr. Iowa Congresswoman Mariannette Miller Meeks. Congresswoman, I understand you announced today that you are running again in 2022 in Iowa's 1st Congressional District, which is a newly redrawn district. So a big congratulations to you. Thanks for being here with us this evening.
Well, thank you so much. And also, I just want to, as a military veteran, although I was Army, I know Sean was Navy, and it's the Marine Corps veteran's birthday. I just want to say, Semper Fi, thank you so much for acknowledging the Marine Corps birthday and acknowledging our veterans. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. They are the heroes of our time. Well, I do want to get to you about holding China accountable because the Biden administration is focusing on climate change. And as we mentioned, China remains unchecked on this one. President Biden, he's supposed to be talking to President Xi next week. Climate change is not the only issue that we have with China right now and the only thing they haven't been held accountable. I think of so many other things. We have COVID-19, how they're handling the Uyghur Muslims. They're taunting Taiwan right now. What kind of posture does President Biden need to have during this call?
Well, you know, I think unfortunately President Biden has not presented a strong retort or rebuttal to China. As you mentioned, China is the world's largest emitter. And not only that, however, you know, the COVID-19 origins have not been fully investigated. He needs to push China to have access and President Xi to have complete access to all of the laboratory documents and allow U.S. investigators, U.S. researchers into the Wuhan Institute of Virology so we can find out where the COVID-19 virus emerged from, which we think from the hearings that we've had did emerge from China, and they need to be held accountable on the international stage for that. He also needs to be very strong when it comes to Taiwan. He needs to get China to go into, you know, international climate talks. But as you said, we have a variety of crises. We have a crisis at the southern border where no one is being tested for COVID-19. We have a crisis in the Middle East where we saw the horrible, incompetent, inept withdrawal from Afghanistan. And we still have Americans, many more Americans than this administration has admitted to, that were left in Afghanistan. We have a crisis in the economy. You mentioned inflation. The Department of Labor said inflation is 6% higher, the highest in 3 decades. And so finally, it's gotten so bad that the mainstream media actually has to cover the fact that all of us in real world outside of Washington, D.C. have been experiencing every single day when we go to the gas pump or we go to the grocery store or we buy supplies for our kids who have started school. And what about Christmas? You know, Mercedes mentioned Thanksgiving. Right. What about Christmas?
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. I want to shift gears a little bit to this COVID-19 vaccine. We saw that Moderna is testing the COVID-19 vaccine on infants nationwide, despite the small risks that the virus poses to them. You know, as a doctor and as a mother, how alarming is this report, number one? Number two, we've seen countries like Germany and France. They're basically saying no Moderna for those under 30 years of age, including some of the Scandinavian countries as well. They agree with that. What are your thoughts on Moderna's actions?
Well, first, let me say that there's nothing illegal or unethical about Moderna or any vaccine development company testing vaccines in children or infants. They have to get parental consent. They have to go through a process. However, what you're saying, you know, is really the crux of the matter, and that is there's such low risk to infants that, you know, do they need to be vaccinated? Under what circumstances do they need to be vaccinated? In our select subcommittee coronavirus task force hearings, I've actually asked this of Dr. Walensky and Dr. Fauci. I've asked them to be transparent with all the data that they have on children who have died with COVID-19, because the vast majority of those children are children that are immunocompromised, children that have cancer or other diseases that put them at higher risk. So a normal average infant, does a normal average infant need to be vaccinated? Does a child under 11 need to be vaccinated? And as you've said, the European countries have already made the decision that they're at such low risk if they're normal, healthy children that they don't need to be vaccinated.
Yeah, looking at the science here. Only have about 30 seconds left, but I do got to get your take on this because it was absurd. The CEO of Pfizer, one of the largest COVID-19 vaccine manufacturers, said this yesterday. Watch.
They are trying to basically to benefit and profit from this fear of the people. And this is who are the criminals.
As a doctor, Congresswoman, have you ever seen the CEO of a large pharmaceutical company like this say something about one of their drugs?
I have not seen it happen before. I think it's just, a testament to what we have been trying to say. I'm fully vaccinated. I've given vaccines. But nonetheless, I think people need to be able to make that decision in concert with their doctor, understanding what the risks are. What's important, vitally important, is that the CDC and the FDA have full transparency, full honesty about what the risks are, about what the benefits are. The adverse outcomes need to be fully elucidated for people, and then to help them make a decision that is best for them in concert with their medical circumstances. And we still don't have that full transparency, which leads to more vaccine hesitancy. So I think there's still some answers that we need to get from CDC and FDA.
Absolutely need to see more data from them. Congresswoman Miller Meeks, thank you so much for being here with us this evening, and thank you for your service to our country.
Well, thank you both so much, and have a wonderful evening.